Hi world, it's Thursday morning, May the 24th, 2018. So I'm really glad you're liking the basic astrology stuff I'm doing. There's a lot of information to come on this, so I'm going to keep doing it when there's nothing else major happening in the world, and I will address the earthquakes and the volcanoes in Hawaii as well as various religious figures, but I'll do that over the weekend. Meantime, I'm going to do one of the most difficult videos on this basic astrology, because I'm going to do something that's really no astrologer's really been able to fully qualify. I want to look at the aspects between the sun and the moon. Now, the sun gives us heat, light and life. Without it we wouldn't be here. Its soul, its identity, individuality, sense of self, sense of uniqueness. The moon reflects the light of the sun onto the earth. The moon doesn't have a light of its own. So the moon reflects the light of the sun out of the individual. Therefore, the moon represents one's personality, emotions, feelings, sensitivities, habit patterns, day-to-day life and routines. The sign the moon is in at the moment of your birth goes a long way towards describing the feelings that you have, your emotional sensitivity. The house that the moon is in shows the way that those feelings manifest in the eyes of the outside world. Now, with the sun-moon aspects, when you're born with the sun opposite the moon, you're born at full moon. Full moon is one of the hardest aspects of all in astrology to define. A lot depends on the nature of the sign and the house that the moon is in, but it always creates a bit of a, not a split personality, but it gives the person the ability to it's not dichotomy, it's not split personality, but to get the best of both worlds. The sun opposite the moon person is always going to be able to see two sides of the story. They're often born in a way at a time when there's a lot of closure and endings. So the person born on a full moon is always going to be able to be more yes, no, black, white about certain situations. They're always going to be able to see the other person's point of view. They're always going to be able to balance things and take into account everyone else's perspective, the needs of the situation and the environment, and then they're going to be able to make decisions. It's not an easy aspect to have in a horoscope, but it does give the ability to be caring, nurturing, understanding, empathic and sympathetic of other people's needs, and then, where necessary, make and take hard choices and decisions. The sun in conjunct the moon, 150 degrees, is a real stinker. It needs to be pretty strong to count, but it's a classic itch you can't scratch. It's the angle of adjustment and compromise with oneself. It links the sun and the moon with two signs that have nothing in common with each other. And thus it's a fairly difficult aspect. And it always leads the person to believe that they're not really fulfilling themselves or doing themselves fully proud. They always feel as if they can be doing more for themselves, and they're never quite satisfied with their own output, even though the outside world doesn't see this. The sun trine the moon, linking the sun and moon in signs that are in common with each other in the same element. Well, that's a lovely aspect. It creates a harmonious, natural and organic flow of individual and personal energy, but it does at times be a little bit complacent. Not lazy, but complacent. The sun square moon, born at half moon. That's a difficult one. That's what I call the angle of the divine discontent. That's where you're always going to feel like there's this little worm at the bottom that's pushing you and twisting things around. And there's always going to be something more that you can do with life. There's never going to be total fulfillment. And people with the sun square moon have to learn to live in the moment, and not to live in the future where they're hoping all the time for a better future, and not living in their past where they're always dwelling on what's been happening and what's done and what's finished. Instead, they need to live in the moment and make the most of any given moment. The sun square moon is even harder than the sun opposite moon. The difference between a square and an opposition is that with Sun opposite Moon, it's like a fait accompli. There are different sides of the nature and you twist yourselves around them as you live through life. With a Sun square Moon, a square release makes problems. It causes releases energy into the chart that causes problems and challenges. It also releases energy which helps you overcome those challenges and problems and turn them into gifts. But this can take 20, 30, 40 years. Sun sextile Moon, lovely aspect. It creates, people with Sun sextile Moon are generally very integrated. They seem to have, it's not so much luck or fortune about them, but they seem to be assimilated, integrated, wholesome, and they have the opportunity to make things work for them. It's a lovely aspect, and there's nothing really that can be said about it apart from the fact that it's really, really nice. And the Sun conjunct Moon, born on the new moon. Born with the Sun and Moon in the same sign and in approximately the same place. That's lovely. That gives a unity, a sense of unification, of clarity of identity, of clarity of direction. And the house that the Sun and Moon conjunction is in at the moment of birth is going to go a long, long way towards describing both the life purpose and ambition and where one feels comfortable in projecting oneself. Sun and Moon, equal and opposite, same size to the naked eye. I think that's really important. If they weren't, we wouldn't get eclipses, and I'm not going near eclipses at the moment. Okay, world, catch you later. Bye.